It's a red phone with white Apple stickers. You know what, I'm not gonna say anything else. This is a deal breaker. Yeah. Hey, what's good guys? Andrew Nussbaum here, and in today's video, I'm reviewing the iPhone XR. This phone is very interesting, and it's probably the iPhone that you should buy. In this video, I'm going to cover everything you need to know about the new iPhone XR, and just FYI, it's a great phone. Okay, so to start off, let's talk about the design, and in my opinion, it's really nothing special. In retrospect, this phone is kind of a combination between the iPhone 8 and the iPhone XS. Now, both of these phones have great designs and great characteristics about their designs, and Apple kind of puts the two together. So, it has a glass back like the iPhone 8 and the XS, it has a screen like the XS, but it has aluminum sides like the iPhone 8. And this is a key difference between the XS and the XR. On the XS, there's actually stainless steel sides, and I must admit that the stainless steel is very premium. It has a really nice heft to it, which makes it like one of the heaviest phones, and it's also very shiny. Now this also comes with its drawbacks though. First off, it gets a lot of scratches. It's like the iPod 4th generation, it's crazy. Second, it also gets a lot of chips. So what I'm trying to say is that the stainless steel is not very durable. Apple's been using aluminum since like the iPhone 6, and it's been proven very good. If you're switching from an iPhone 6 or 7, it's gonna feel very natural to you. Now let's talk about the glass back, and in my personal opinion, it's very nice. One thing I noticed when I was switching from the Pixel 2 XL was that this phone was really heavy. I found my other phone to be slightly light, and with this glass back, it adds a lot of heft. Now since it's glass, it also supports wireless charging, something that my other phone did not have. Now this is Qi standard wireless charging, so you can charge it on almost any charging pad. Now of course with the glass back, it looks very nice, but you're definitely going to get a lot of scratches. Now this is inevitable, so I recommend getting one of these OtterBox cases or Tech 21 case. They're clear and they're very durable, but you could also get a D-brand skin because you can't go wrong with those. When feeling the glass in the hands, it feels pretty nice. It is definitely very slippery, but it has this premium Apple-ish feel to it. So this phone comes in a variety of different colors, and the glass back reflects that. So this one I have right here is the Product Red edition. This red is really red. Apple kind of changes up the red every single year, and this year I feel like they've definitely perfected it. I also like that this Product Red edition doesn't come out 6 months after the phone's initial release. It comes out on the release day. Product Red's my personal favorite probably. Blue's also pretty nice. Now also on the back there's the Apple logo and the iPhone text. I like that these are put under the glass, which makes it a very smooth finish. Okay, so flipping the phone over from the back, let's talk about the screen. So this screen is 828p, so it's not even 1080p, but please don't let that fool you. Now there were a lot of reports that were saying that this screen would suck, like literally be awful. What they were saying was really unfair, because the screen is actually really good. Now like I said before, this screen is 828 by 1792 pixels. If I look really close at the screen, I can't notice any single pixel. People were saying that this screen would be very pixelated because it has the same pixels per inch as the iPhone 4, but if you look really close at the screen, you can't see anything. When I was comparing it with the iPhone X, I really couldn't notice a difference. The colors on the screen also really pop. Apple's fine-tuned the colors to be really accurate and vivid. There's a very little difference between the X screen and the XR screen. Now one difference between the screens is that the XR is an LCD panel and the XS is an OLED panel. OLED means that you're going to get those really true deep blacks. LCD, there's actually a backlight, so not each individual pixel is lit up. This is okay because this is a really good LCD panel. Apple calls it liquid retina, but that's just like a marketing term. What they're trying to say is that it's just a really good panel. Now one slight downside of the LCD panel is that the bezels are slightly bigger. This is a very slight difference though. The iPhone X's bezels are definitely like to the edges of the phone. These bezels are slightly bigger, but you really don't notice them. Since this screen is an LCD panel, they can't really wrap the edges of the screen around the sides of the phone. But for being what it is, Apple's done a really good job. Brightness-wise, the screen also does well. You can view it in bright daylight conditions like this one with no problem. Like I said, the notch is exactly the same as before. It houses the earpiece, front-facing camera, Face ID sensor, and the dot projector. Now in the notch, this is where Face ID takes place. And this year, Apple's really improved it. Face ID is almost instantaneous. If you put the phone up to your face, it automatically recognizes you. It's really fast, it's almost to the point where it's kind of annoying. I wish there was a setting that let you customize how long it would take for Face ID to actuate. This is probably never gonna happen, it's probably just gonna keep getting faster and faster. Now, let's talk about the performance of this phone. And it really did surprise me. This phone has the A12 Bionic chip, and it is definitely best in class. It's probably faster than a Snapdragon 845, and you can really push this thing to the limits. Now, somehow, Apple's chips keep on getting faster and faster every year and staying in the same form factor, and this chip is probably their most impressive. Now, in terms of the iPhone XR and the iPhone XS, they are both rocking the A12 Bionic chip. Doing simple tasks like browsing the web or watching YouTube videos is buttery smooth, and even playing games is very fast. The phone's also rocking 3 gigs of RAM. And yes, this is not a lot, especially when phones have 6 gigs of RAM now, but in my extensive use, I don't really find that there's any issue with 3 gigs of RAM. Sure, it would be very nice to have at least 4, and I do think that 3 is maybe not enough for some people. For the iPhone 11R, if there's one of those, they should definitely bump the RAM up to at least 4 gigabytes. When it comes to capacity, this phone comes in 64, 128, or 256 gigabyte options. The one I have here is actually 128 gigabytes, and I feel like that's the best middle ground. I feel like Apple should sell only a 128 gigabyte version or a 256 gigabyte version. But to wrap things up about the performance, it's really, really good. Really snappy, really fast. I have no complaints whatsoever. So next, let me tell you about the cameras. Let's start out with the back camera. So it's a 12 megapixel wide angle camera with an aperture of f1.8. It also has optical image stabilization and a 6-element lens. Photos from this thing are really nice. It's actually the same exact camera on the iPhone XS, just without the telephoto lens. A slight difference is that this camera is a little bit more wide angled. Photos have a lot of high dynamic range, and everything is very crisp. Now, of course, it would be nice to have that second lens, but since this phone is like $150 cheaper than the XS, I'm glad that they still have a quality camera on it. When it comes to taking photos, I think the Pixel 3 XL is still the undefeated champion. The color science is just so damn good for a smartphone. But when it comes to video, the iPhone definitely wins. When taking video on the Pixel, colors seem very drowned out. The iPhone has a much natural, slightly warmer tone to it. I'm personally a fan of it. So here's the video on the iPhone XR. Pretty good, right? It has good color accuracy, and everything looks very crisp. Now, coming back to the camera, there's one thing you should know. It actually doesn't work on pets. So if I try to take a picture of this dog right here, I cannot do it in portrait mode. But besides that minor flaw, which can probably be fixed in a software update, this camera's great. Some people even say that it's better than the iPhone XS's camera, but I haven't had a chance to test that yet. But yeah, if you value a good camera, the iPhone XR definitely performs well. If I had one word to describe this phone, it would be great. The differences between the iPhone XR and the iPhone XS are so minute and small. If you want the stainless steel sides and have the extra money to spend, I guess go with the XS. If you want that second telephoto lens that in my opinion doesn't really do anything, go with the XS. But if you don't really care about those things and want a really good smartphone, the XR is the way to go. It has almost everything Apple's top flagship has to offer, just at a lower price. You get great design, great build quality, wireless charging, iOS. Really, everything that the iPhone XS has, this phone has. After using this phone for around a month now, I have to tell you, it's the exact opposite of cheap. But yeah, if you decide to buy this phone, I'm very confident that you'll love it. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.